This housing bubble we're experiencing right now is far more extreme than the one we saw during the first time around. And we'll look, for example, at the Case-Shiller index. And we look first off at New York. Condos in New York City right now rose 1% month on month. It's up 3% from a year ago. From the year 2000 to February 2006, it soared 131%. And then it declined. It declined because we had a big housing bubble pop. So what happened? Quantitative easing kicked in. By 2012, the condo market began rising again. So right now, the Case-Shiller index for New York City is now 19% above the prior peak. So it's surged 175% for the price of these condos and homes in only 17 years. We're sitting 19% above the largest housing bubble we've ever seen in America. Now, Los Angeles also went through a crazy ride. The Metro Index in Los Angeles, they actually set a new record. And it's amazing because the housing prices that were going on in Los Angeles during the last housing bubble were immense. And it jumped 1% for the month and 8.3% from just last year. During the housing bubble one in Los Angeles, home prices surged 174% just between January 2000 and 2006. Only 6 years, housing prices they jumped 174%. That's immense. So the crash in housing prices, it pretty much eliminated almost all of that. We had a 40% decline in the value of houses in Los Angeles. But now you see the Case-Shiller index is exceeding the first peak that we saw back in 2006. So it's actually above that by only 0.7%, but it's still exceeding record astounding housing prices. The same is looking to be going on right now in San Diego. And San Francisco is experiencing a much worse problem. The Case-Shiller Home Price Index for San Francisco, it covers San Francisco, Alameda County, Contra Costa, Marin, San Mateo, the northern part of Silicon Valley. So the index surged 1% on a monthly basis, according to the last Case-Shiller report, and it's 10.1% year over year. So that's up 33.4% from the peak of housing bubble one. So that is immense. That's 93% increase in housing prices ever since the end of the first housing bubble. And that's 156% housing prices have risen since 2000. So in only 18 years. And we talk about wage stagnation. Where's the demand coming in for these homes? We see what's going on in Portland. It's very significant also. The index for Portland rose 6.7% just from last year. It's up 21% from the very peak of the housing bubble the first time in July 2007. So it's increased 125% since 2000. Now notice people were making more money back in early 2000 than they are right now. That is in dollar terms. We've watched the dollar has devalued dramatically ever since then. We also see in Atlanta right now. They ticked up 0.4% on a monthly basis. They rose 6.5% just from last year. It's now exceeding the very peak of the housing bubble in July 2007 by 4.3%. So it's surged 72% since the bottom of the crash. Dallas is another one that has just boomed. And you see, they weren't as dramatically impacted but during the housing crisis. But one thing that's taken place ever since the housing crisis one, and as we're reaching housing bubble number two, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metro Index has rose 0.6% on a monthly basis. But this is the 49th consecutive increase in the housing prices. So that's 6.4% year over year. That means the Case-Shiller Home Price Index for the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area has surged 44% since June 2007. Denver's another one that's getting hit. And you know what? It's becoming a very tight housing market because we're seeing housing prices kind of sputter out. But the Case-Shiller Home Price Index showed a spike of 1.2% on a monthly basis. This was the 28th consecutive increase. It surged 8.4% year over year. It's up 48% since the peak that took place in July 2006. So the housing bubble now is far greater than it's ever been before. We're also seeing in Seattle with the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, it jumped 1.7% on a month-to-month basis. It's a new record level for the home prices in Seattle right now. Are we seeing record level amounts of incomes from jobs to be able to support these homes? The index has soared 12.7% just from last year, and it's now 23.9% above the peak of the housing bubble back in July 2007. Boston also had a pretty big rev up going on during the first housing bubble, and also a pretty significant decline of 18%. But the Case-Shiller Home Price Index for Boston, it jumped 0.7% on a monthly basis. So this is now a new record. There's also been 2 months of increases. And they also had a 22-month surge during which seemed like it was being inflated with helium. So the index is up 5.7% just from last year. The index skyrocketed 82% during the last housing bubble between January 2000 and October 2005. But now it's topping that by 13%. So it's 13% above what was known then as the housing bubble. So we look at the entire Case-Shiller U.S. Home Price Index, and this is up 6.7% from the first housing bubble. This is very significant because it was down negative 27%. Prices of houses and condos across the United States, they've gone up 6.3% just from last year. And people could say, oh, well, this is well, but what about the millennials attempting to become first-time homebuyers? What about the fact that on average, about 55% of United States citizens are making below $34,000 a year? What kind of percentages are they running with their debt-to-income ratios? So according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller National Home Price Index for February, like I said, it's up 6.7% above the peak of Housing Bubble 1. Now, the peak took place back in July 2006, and what immediately preceded this was a drop that left millions devastated, left major banking firms going bust, left Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on the ropes, and it left the American taxpayers with another bailout to these major too-big-to-fail banks. Well, guess what? The housing bubble is now far greater. It's 47% above the bottom. All of these local housing bubbles are adding up. And as they accumulate, what we're seeing is that we've developed a national housing bubble. So the Case-Shiller Index is based on a rolling 3-month average. And so the numbers that have been released are from December, January, and February. What they do is they compare the sales prices of a house in the current month to the last transaction of the same house years earlier. But for the most part, American savings are completely depleted. Americans' credit cards are maxed out. All of these mortgage industry players are stepping in to try to target borrowers that are not creditworthy. No down payments. They're dropping lending standards. All this at a time when interest rates are rising. What it really proves is the simple fact that these Americans cannot afford to buy homes in this current market. So much that everyone that is able to saddle on more debt to be able to make a mortgage has already done so. And when the problem is, when people can't afford homes, they can't afford to buy homes, when millions of Americans have been converted over to a renter economy as apart from an owner economy, what you find is that there's no place for this housing bubble to go. When sales, as we've seen that they've dropped the past 2 months, begin to peak and to plummet, it gets very ugly very fast. Bubbles typically have no underlying support and are fueled by mere speculation and Federal Reserve accommodative policies. But you can't fake a successful housing market, not without sales. You can't fake a successful housing market, not without wage inflation taking place. Because everyone's afraid of inflation, right? Except there's none to be found when you look at the wages for the United States citizens. And what they don't want to admit to you is that it's all been a giant experiment playing with your individual assets. So it might seem like good news to many people that are out there, people who own their homes, but home ownership is down. So for a larger portion out of the population in the United States, this is very bad news because what they're finding is they're getting further and further away from the American dream, getting further and further away from an ability to be able to be an owner, to escape the rat race where you're continuously pouring out your money just on rent and housing. Because that's really what's driving prices. Banks, foreign entities, and flippers, not home buyers. But we already see the economy beginning to shudder. It's just very important to be aware of just how serious this is going to get. Understanding the depth and that we are currently in a housing bubble that we've never seen in history. We're currently looking at home prices that so far exceed the ability for people to purchase them. And yet people are out there once again bundling securities of home loans for people and borrowers without sufficient credit just to be able to make an extra buck. Like these loans are still going to be considered qualified when people have even less money and the prices of the homes cost even more. It's all a dream. And unless you're very, very young, and if you are, pay attention to recent history.
TREF was backed by the SEC. I misused the word. TREF is actually registered with the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission. Now, excuse me as I look down because I don't want to misspeak again. I'm just going to give you an update and also additional information with Tulsa Real Estate Fund. And if you didn't know, this is the first 100% Black-owned crowdfunding real estate platform. Okay, it's tier 2. And if you don't understand the different tiers, so tier 1 is real estate or REITs that don't have any property they're about to build. Tier 2 are those properties who are now already built but need some generation, they need some investing to get it bolstered off the ground to be prosperous one day. And then tier 3 are those well-established real estate properties that are making regular returns that you can actually predict what you're going to receive. Now, Tulsa Real Estate Fund is not actually stationed in Oklahoma, but they were inspired by the crazy, horrific things that happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma when they actually bombed the first Black Wall Street, the only Black Wall Street for that matter. So Tulsa Real Estate Fund, once again, is a tier 2 real estate fund that is qualified / registered with the SEC. The purpose of this fund, or the reason why it was created rather, was to really charge up the urban communities and as a means for investors to own shares and equity in portfolios of real estate assets. Now, basically what that means is that me and you can start investing that in other REITs and other investment platforms that we probably couldn't invest in. So we all know what a crowdfund is, right? A group of people, usually accredited investors, but this is cool because you don't have to be an accredited investor, right? So I'm not harping on the terminologies. I'm just giving you the information and you can do the research. So just a caveat on tier 2, because I don't believe my definition that I gave out was that good. Tier 2 are cities are in the process of developing their real estate markets. These cities tend to be up and coming, and many companies have invested in these areas, but they haven't yet reached their peak. Real estate is usually relatively inexpensive. However, growth continues and price will arise, and that's when that happens. That's when you reach tier 3. Now, here's some fun facts that you need to know. That is a huge update from our previous video, which you can look at right here. Now, we all know there's a $500 minimum investment, okay, which is about 10 shares to become a member. Now, don't forget there is a 12-month lockup period once you invest your money that you can't take any money out, which is fine. They need to start having revenue in order to get this fund off the ground. These things are very important. So I understand the 12-month lockup period. Now, when you deposit your $500 minimum investment or more, there is a $25.50 processing fee for each investment. So if you do $1,000 one time, that's $25.50. If you do $500 the next time, that's $25.50. Now the cap is 50 million. Once they get to 50 million, they're going to cut it off. You can no longer invest inside of it. Now, if you live outside of the US and you live in Canada or the UK, that processing fee is plus $3. And anyone outside of that, those two countries, plus $60. Now, once again, the cap is 50 million. So if you're $1 million person, you can just drop 50 million in there to shut it off, or however how much they have right now. I think the last time I checked, they have a little over $7 million in the fund. Now, here are the facts that you really need to know before you actually put your money in now, or like myself, a little bit later, because this just started in 2016. The fund just started in 2016. I did the video in 2017, and here's the update. So a lot more information is out there. Now, first and foremost, this is a very risky investment, very risky. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't invest in it. This is just the truth. Everybody knows this. TREF does have a management fee, and that management fee is 5.5%. Now, they say if the fund can return 30% a year, they're going to give the investor 8% of that, and then the other 22% will be split 50-50. 50% is going to the management group, and then 50% is actually going to the fund. So if you do the math, if you just realize what I said, 8% is your quarterly return for dividends, but your management fee is 5.5%, then what that means to me is I'm only receiving 2.5%. Now, granted, they're going to give you your dividends quarterly, and quarters just depends on how they do it. It's either 3 or 4 months. Is the management fee monthly or quarterly? Because if it's monthly, then I haven't even done the math because I can't even fathom that it's monthly and I'm only getting my dividends quarterly. So if you do the math, you're only going to receive 2.5%. Now, once you go to the website and you go through the prompts to take you to open an account, it is straightforward. It is user-friendly. It's actually an easy process for you to start investing in urban communities. Now, here's the real. Why haven't I invested yet? Because regardless of who started the fund, black, white, brown, yellow, purple, green, orange, I need statistical and research data, because if you a subscriber of my channel, you know I love to do my research, because I always tell you I'm here to inform you, and then with that information, you do the research. Because when you do the research, you obtain knowledge, right? So for me, this is a very risky, very profitable investment that it can be, and it's the design. I love the definition. I love the meaning of it. And what I'm saying is the purpose of the fund is awesome. I just don't have enough information. Here's another thing. On the website, Jay Morrison, who's been validated through many sectors as a real estate mogul, that he's really powerful and he knows what he's doing. I believe that. But he also states, or the site also states, that that team of his has over 100 years of experience. So what I would like to know is how many people are on the team and who their names are, so I can then research them. Because if you look up Jay Morrison on YouTube or the internet, you're going to find a lot of information about him, which you're going to feel real comfortable, right? And that's what you want to do when you put your money inside of that. Because $500 for me is a lot of money, but $500 for somebody else may not be a lot of money. Or $500 for a lot of people in America is a lot of money. So I just want to point out this. I'm not trying to kick the legs from under the table. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to say that now, just like any investment, it's risky, especially when it first take off. Now, Tulsa Real Estate Fund just opened up the IPO on June 1st, 2018 this year. So just like any IPO, the first initial investment is risky and you have a chance to lose money. Now, granted, here's an example. When Snapchat IPO first were released, the stock was $22 a share. Okay, the stock was $22 a share. And gradually, from that time they opened up, they have been losing money. Now, the last time I looked at Snapchat, each share was $14. So granted, if you were the first one to invest inside of it, think about how much money you lost. You lost like $8 per share. You could have lost a substantial amount of money, even if it was $10. So we have to be careful with this regardless of what it is. Now, some of you say, hey, I have $500 to lose if it's for a good reason, because some people may chalk this up as charity, and that's practically fine. I'm just giving you the investing mindset of it, and you can use the charity mindset of it, okay? So I want you to understand all these things, and one key thing I want to point out. Here's what they state on their website. The question is, can I take my money out of the fund? Verbatim, after the 12-month lockup period, during which no withdrawals will be completed by any member, TREF will use its best efforts to honor requests for a return of capital subject to, among other things, the company's then available cash flow, financial conditions, and approval by the manager. The maximum aggregate amount of capital that the company will return to the member each calendar year is limited to 5%. So, in layman's terms, what they're saying is this: depending on the cash flow of the fund, depending on the financial condition of the fund, and depending on the approval by their manager or managers, will decide if you get your money back. Now, for the carnal mind who doesn't know much about real estate or investment, let me tell you, that's basic across the board. No investment company can promise you anything. Now, especially with a startup, they have to have a lockup period because people would just be pulling money out, taking money out, and the fund will not generate enough money to get properties off the ground in order to receive a return of your dividends. So understand that aspect of it. So if you're saying, wow, all these stipulations that I got to go through to get my money out. The point of investing, especially on this is a long-term investment, guys, is to receive money over a long period of time. So please understand the language in it. And if you don't, read about it. So hopefully this video was a little more clear. I try to do my fact checking, especially things like the processing fee, $25.50, the management fee, 5.5%, the actual percentage in dividends you're supposed to get back, 8%. Then if you do the math, it seems like 5%. So hopefully more information comes out. If Jay releases a video, hopefully he gives us the breakdown of financial records that he actually listened to SEC. So if you go over to the SEC and you type in Tulsa Real Estate Fund, go through the documents. And some things are very shocking and some things just make you go, But you have to do your own research. I'm not going to tell you to invest into it, and I'm not going to tell you not to invest into it. But I will tell you this. I'm going to wait. This is Ross World. Last year, this is an update to that video.
Hello. I'm Digital Pit Boss. And Mr. blurredplanet.com. I won't block you. You want to come on the show? You don't want to come on the show, do you? I'm sure you're just a fraud account. I always keep a hater. Pit Boss keeps a hater. Yeah, you're a troll. You're a troll. You ain't uploaded a thing on you. We don't got one video of you. Let's see if this is you. Is this you?
The maximum credit score they get. So it was born with me spending after I spent it.
That can't be you. Oh, this is you. This is Darren's Coffee. Is that you?
Exactly. It's policy first.
I would welcome. I would say, hey, welcome to, Darren's Coffee. Welcome to Starbucks, man. I would go and talk to him. At Starbucks, something that Starbucks is supposed to do as coffee masters, they're supposed to do an hourly coffee tasting. I don't know if you know that or not, but yeah, they're supposed to do a coffee tasting. So they're supposed to take the coffee around and have people sample the coffee within there. So that's a great opportunity to connect as Starbucks, to connect with a customer.
So we got the fraud, Mr. Darren's Coffee. Y'all know this fraud. This foolish fraud. It didn't take me but 30 seconds to pop your motherfucking collar, kid. Trying to be. You want to be like Pit Boss, don't you? You want to have a channel that somebody give a damn about your perspective, don't you? You want to create you a goddamn channel where somebody give a damn. Look at that dumbass hat you wearing. This is why don't nobody give a damn about no Darren's Coffee. You couldn't even keep 12 bags of coffee in stock. You still surfacing around on the internet. You ain't found your lane. You one of them integrationists, socialists fronting, huh? Keynesian economy. I keep a dummy. I keep a dummy in my chat room. I'll let you on the show. You've been on before with your bullshit. Come on here and tell us how the calculated risk takers is just like Jay Morrison. Come explain it to us. Or you didn't think I was going to figure out who you was in 0.3 seconds. Don't just sit here with this dumbass look on your face. Come on the show. We want to hear from a coffee dummy. We want to hear from a low budget Starbucks, the ghetto. We want to hear from the ghetto Starbucks himself. Come on the show, bro. You can take Pit Boss. Come give us that integration overload. Don't just sit here looking at me stupid. With your grandpa's hat on. And your grandmother's glasses. And your brother's hoodie. And your girl and your sister's t-shirt. Please don't just sit here looking at me stupid. Come on the show. Put your email in the goddamn comment section. Don't let Pit Boss just clown your own silly ass. They can't stand Pit Boss on YouTube. You know I clown your partner. I don't got your goddamn number. You've been blocked. You've been blocked. Now put your goddamn raggedy ass email in there. My fans love me to clown you integrationists. Don't let me get the crown from the king of Zamunda and smack you on your head with the true light. Boy, you a clown, man. I can't send a link to your phone number. I want to hear from your integrationist mindset. I want you to come and explain how the calculated risk takers is like Jay Morrison. Because I can leave that dumb look on the screen while I roll through my audio. You quick to go jump on a Sonetta, huh? If I was Sonetta, you'd be all over this shit. Let me on, let me on, let me on. Today's topic don't have a topic. I just wanted to see you hit that link after I told you don't hit that link. I might bore the shit out of you with real knowledge. I might go into some nigga shit for you. We might do some nigga knowledge. There you go. A couple people jumped off the link. A couple y'all sitting there like, wait a minute, Pit. I know your ass will turn up. I'm waiting on the turn up. I got an integrationist in my chat room. You should be over there on Yvette Cornell cheerleading with your pom-poms. She do the kind of shows you can tune into. Are you a fan of Jay Morris? Are you a fan of Jay Morris? Mr. Low Budget Coffee? Darren's Low Budget Coffee Shop? You know, only nigga with a coffee shop that stay on the internet. Trolling accounts. We waiting on you, bro. Or else I'm gonna put that dumb look back on the screen and play some more audio. So earlier, the first clip, I just wanted to bang y'all in the head. There's all kinds of housing videos. Primarily, overall, the housing market is on a slow increase. Some say as high as 4%, others say 3%. You know, you got different numbers out there. No one can be accurate. They're analyzing data and making their own opinions. No one can be accurate. But in a generality, everybody appears to feel comfortable about the real estate market. But most of y'all know there is no income inflation. Income is not increasing across the board. Now, no one can pull data up to say that that's happening. He ain't ready, King of Zamunda. You heard the king. Throw your shit out there so we can clown your integrated mindset. So I can pull up your coffee cup. So I can lay a few coffee beans on you. This boy ran out of stock and he just an online coffee shop and can't keep no stock. You a drop shipper that ain't got no stock. Come on here and show us what your college education has done for your ass. Come tell us where you got that ridiculous ass hat from. Just come on the show. I feel like clowning a clown. I feel like breaking down a clown from the boogie down. Is y'all ready for me to break off a clown that came on the show? This is Darren Coffee. And this is a public service announcement. If you are not happy with empowering yourself economically, and if you are a fan of W.E.B. Du Bois and the NAACP Integrationist Program of America, well, I'm Darren Coffee, and I have a solution for you. Look at this nut. What is you doing on YouTube looking like that? You a college kid. You supposed to have your shit together. Your mama wasted all that goddamn money for you to be an internet coffee guy. You didn't need to go to college for that. How's your credit? It's been a year since I seen you. Do you got your goddamn credit together? Huh? Are you going to take that dumbass look off your face anytime soon? Darren's Coffee. Come drink a cup of this coffee. Now, these are the type of niggas, when I was doing my morning cup, I told Mr. Dum Dum here, Mr. Coffee Bean, that I would use his coffee company, his internet, no stock having ass coffee company. The way that Joe in the Morning on CNBC is sponsored by Starbucks. I was going to let a broke down integrated Darren's Coffee be the sponsor of the show. I wasn't a big show. It wasn't a big deal if he rolled with Pit Boss or not. If Pit Boss uses his broken down ass coffee company or not, it didn't matter. But it was the idea that this bimbo decides he want to troll me because he couldn't understand. He's one of those atheists. This is his issue. Deep down inside, he don't got no God that dwells in him. He's empty. Only thing he knows is nature. All he knows is nature provides coffee beans. And he figured with the dumbest look in the world, he could work his way into the game. But you just didn't fit. You didn't fit, Coffee Bean. Darren Coffee Bean. I swear you need to take that dumbass look off your face, bro. It's killing you. I can't stand looking at you no more. So this is what I got to go through just to play some audio. He think we blocked him. Ain't nobody blocked you. Everybody can read your dumbass comments. What's your email? See, I got to hype them up. Adina, I got to hype them up. I got to pump these niggas up because Pit Boss is rough. I know many of y'all, y'all ain't long time listeners. You might have just got over here by way of the Tulsa, Oklahoma Hurricane Katrina Fund. Might have brought you, might have blew you into town. But old Darren Bean Coffee, he been listening for years. Pit Boss is well on his way to almost 2,000 videos on YouTube, going in on an explicit amount of information. But the kind of shit I kick is just not in fashion. It's just not going to be popular. Everybody wants to connect to nature. So they don't want the spiritual realm dwelling in their thoughts. But you know what happens when you almost get in a car accident and you slam on the brakes? First word coming, oh my gosh. Oh my God. You start praying, whether you accept it or not. All you need, look, he's still talking about send me the link. Where's your goddamn email? Uh-oh, he done flipped accounts. Came in here with the Darren's Coffee Company. I blew your cover in 3 seconds, man. Don't try me. I've been doing this shit too long. That's why most troll accounts don't have shit on them, because they do not want Pit Boss prying around their shit. I'm gonna figure it out, and it ain't gonna take me all day. Your IQ ain't that big. That's why your ass still ain't selling no coffee. You run around the internet commenting about coffee in the news. You think that's an opportunity for you to be on the show. We still waiting on the email. You ain't gonna send it because you know what's gonna happen. So look what happened. Let's move on to what the people came in here for. Lately, I've been talking about this right here. The Tulsa, Oklahoma Hurricane Katrina Real Estate Fund. Why do I use both names? Because everybody knows what happened to Katrina. It went underwater. And that's what's going to happen to the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. It's going to go underwater. Now, in the last week, several days, he apparently has raised another $500,000. Looks like the fund has come to a halt. He's going to have to work his magic with about 11 million. Now, he says the target is 15 million. He's 71% to the target. He has an entire little over a year, and he has 10,000, almost 1,100 investors. He wants to take it. The minimum raise is 100,000. He was ready to get cracking with 100,000. And the max, 50 million. He's well past his minimal, so it's time to go to work. Look at that big ass I got you smile, right? Following your investment, it will take 12 to 15 days to receive a digital certificate. A digital certificate. Now, a certificate in legalese is not a title of ownership. You don't believe me? We're talking legalese. Let's go to Black's Law. Let's see if we can go Black's Law Dictionary. Right. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Now, hold on, be strong. You got an issue in the chat room, Darren. You talking about send the link, and we still ain't seen no email. True Light got the sniper vision on your ass. Now, let me share the screen. Oh, I am sharing the goddamn screen. I'm already sharing the screen, aren't we? Okay, a certificate. What is a certificate? A written assurance or official representation that some acts has or has not been done, or some event occurred, or some legal formality has been complied with, particularly such written assurance made or issuing from some court and designed as a notice of things done therein, or as a warrant or authority to some other court's judge or officers. People versus Foster. We won't get into the stipulations of that. A document in use in the English Custom House. No goods can be exported by certificate except foreign goods formerly imported, on which the whole or a part of the customs paid on importation is to be drawn back. Wathon, right? Let's see. Can we get any more about a certificate? Now, let me go in a little deeper. It's kind of difficult. They want you to really pay for getting into definitions of legalese. They're only going to give you so much. But let's see, you know. Let's try it a few ways. Let's see if something else pop up. The Law Dictionary. A qualification or attribute meaning to be officially attested or authoritatively confirmed as being genuine or true as represented, or complying or meeting specified requirements or standards. A certificate may accompany this qualification. It is simply saying something has been attested to, something has been done, and here's the proof. This certificate. What a certificate is not is an ownership of anything. Now, he's not saying that a certificate is an ownership of anything. In this particular case, a certificate is simply a promissory note to do something, to take some course of action. What shall that action be? That he will purchase real estate and return to you 8% preferred. Now, mind you, listening to the brother that was for the Tulsa, Oklahoma, this is why I played him. He wasn't an investor, but he likes the concept. I didn't want to play you somebody who was against it. It would sound too much Pit Boss favor. Darren broke ass coffee. Did you drop at least 500 coffee beans on the brother? Or are you just in here blowing hot smoke? Did you drop some money on the Tulsa, Oklahoma Hurricane Katrina Disaster Fund? Huh? Did you drop a nickel, buddy? Because if you ain't dropped a dime, how you over here speaking on mine? How you do that? How you do that, son? Now, back to the subject. So if you put $500 into the fund, you're going to get a promissory note of some sort of action. I'm sure at some point in time, he'll start to update what the Tulsa Digital Real Estate Hurricane Katrina Disaster Fund has acquired. And you'll be able to look and say, hey, look what the Tulsa Fund owns, which in turn, the Tulsa Fund is owned by this guy, Jay Morrison. Ultimately, everything outside of that is simply he has promised 10,083 people that he would do something. Now, let's assume he puts that 10 million into action. Let's assume, based on the narrative we heard from the guy who was speaking in favor of the Tulsa Fund, that he received a 30% return on the investment. $10 million at a 30% return equals out to $3 million. Out of that $3 million, he will charge 5% management fund. I don't know exactly what the 5% is drawn from. Is it drawn from the totals? Is it drawn from the profit? Let's just assume it's drawn from the profits only. So out of $3 million, 5% is $150,000. That will go to administrative costs. It's pretty cheap, pretty good deal, pretty standard. We ain't mad at you. Now, he'll also then pay out 8% preferred. That means this money goes first to his investors, the 10 million, based upon what you've invested. Let's assume you invested $1,000. He will give you $80, a grand total of 8% of your investment. $1,000, 8%, $80. You might as well open up both your pockets to receive it. Now, there's still a total of about $2 million left. Of that $2 million, he will take half, $1 million. The other $1 million, that goes back to the fund. Now the fund is up another $1 million. And then that profit coming in on round 2 will then once again be split the same way. But that initial $1 million that he took, that comes out of the fund and into Jay Morrison's and Associates, a totally different company. And you'll never see that again. That money is honestly earned. You'll never see that again. Forget about it. Forget about it. Next. Now he has 11 million. He does it again. Rather he pays out a quarterly dividends, or he pays out annual dividends. Every time he pays out, after that 8% preferred, meaning if only 10% come in above, profits, 8% goes to the people. The other 2% shall be split 50-50. Every time he splits that 50-50, you never receive it in your pocket. It simply starts to make the fund grow, so that if no more additional money is added, over time the fund grows. His 50% chop gets bigger every time. Now, suppose he takes a loss and he loses 10%. Oh well, nobody gets paid. He doesn't lose. And he goes at it again. And we keep going at it until we either lose the fund or make a profit. That's it. Now, if he gets into trouble and we receive a profit somewhere, but he's been in trouble for 6 months, he has plenty room to sell some shares. There's an additional, let's assume he's already sold 200,000 shares. He has an additional 800,000 shares. Let's take some of this money and create a marketing plan to gain more subscribers. Now, apparently, because of the viper sting of the negative videos on YouTube, investors done slowed up. They said, wait a minute. What the fuck is Pit Boss? Who the fuck is Ephraim Taylor? What the fuck is going on? All of a sudden, shit slowed down dramatically. But he don't give a shit. Oh, no. 10 million is far, far exceeding his best expectation. Far exceeding his best. He's so happy. He happier than a fat rat in a cheese factory. He happier than a little kid in a candy store. He happier than a gay man in a goddamn sex shop full of goddamn dildos. He is happy as he could be. The 50% chop on $10 million, meaning him and his wife gonna ball forever while you wait on your $80. What a sweet deal, man. What a sweet deal. Let's get in some of these facts. Following your investment, it will take 12 to 15 days to receive a digital certificate. You are now able to fund your account. You can fund your TRIF investor account through one of the following payment types: ACH, wires, and checks. There is no fee for processing. However, if an ACH is rejected due to the insufficient funds or an incorrect information, you'll be charged a fee and an additional $10. A paper check cost is an additional $10 to processing fees. There's a $25 processing fee each time you fund your account. Now you got to pay $25 every time you put $500 in. Better get it all in at once, because every time you fund it, it's got a new lockup period on it. There is a lockup period of 12 months. All right, let's skip over to US, Canada, and all of that. For individuals investing from other countries, skip over that. We're not in another country. For entities based in Canada or whatever. For entity investments from other countries, whatever. If you submit your account information with an incorrect social security number, incorrect address, or misspelled name, it may trigger an AML exception, which means that we will need additional information in order for you to complete your investment. In such cases, an $8 fee will be charged against you. Now, let's just imagine 10,000 investors times $25. Woo, jackpot. What's 10,000 times $25. Sounds like $250,000 to me. Don't ask me how I multiply all this shit up real quick. It just works. It just works. $250,000 in transaction fees. Damn. Damn, the hustle is good. Damn. I love watching a hustler put these hoes on the track. I love to see a pimp get them on 2 knees and 10 toes. I love it. Ain't nothing like the pimp game. Baby, Dr. Pimpin', what you think about that pimp game, baby? You know how it works, right? On your knees, on the 210. Get on the 210. Get on 2 knees and 10 toes and bow to this pimpin'. Come correct with the cash flow. Get down on the 210. This shit is amazing. And this ain't new for any of you. For you 10,083 nutcases out there that done locked your money up. Ain't nothing new about this. Ain't nothing new about this, baby. But for certain, the wheels stopped rolling. This investment fund was moving at $1 million a day and then slowed down to a snail's pace. He might hit that 11 million though. Ain't no telling. He only got to get 300. He could put that 300 in his goddamn self and round it off. He can't lose. He can't lose. That 50% chop, whoo, is going to be $1 million in his pocket in a year. Period. 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 He going to get $1 million. He already at 250 on transaction fees. Now ask yourself, you really think it costs $250,000 to process these transactions? Really? You really believe that? That's called double taxation. Trust me. The white man use it all the time. This is the white man's technique. He created this hustle. The Jew created this hustle. It's amazing, man. Amazing. Anybody want to drop 5 on the black hand side? Anybody want to drop 500 on the black hand side? Look who popped in the window, moving the way the wind blow. 18 wheels of locomotion, 12,000 on the front axles, 35,000 on the middle axles, and another 35,000 on the back axles. It's the Conscious G. Hey, Conscious G, send your email, man. I can send you the link. I want to hear your opinion about the Tulsa, Oklahoma Hurricane Katrina Disaster Fund. Are you in or out? We want to hear from a trucker. We want to hear from a tax-paying trucker. Darren's scared to send it. He know I'm going to chop his coffee bean down. I'm going to chop his beanstalk down to the ground. Anybody else want to come on and mercilessly check Pit Boss? I can't put the goddamn link in the chat room no more. Not for now. I got too many haters. They trying to jump on the link, kick me off my own goddamn show. Anybody interested in putting your money in lockup, you can simply go to the Tulsa Real Estate Fund.com. This is where money goes to jail. The Tulsa Real Estate Fund.com. 500 gets you in, and $80 will get you out. Anybody? He waiting on you. You could add to the numbers. You could be down for Black Power Hour. You just might win. And you can come back over to Pit Boss, say, see, hater, Pit Boss, you a hater. Calculated risk takers was the same shit. You just mad they didn't give you the money. You can say all of that. All you got to do is go on over to the TulsaOklahomaFund.com and take a snapshot of how much you drop. I know you can afford to miss out on $500 for a year. $500 get your 40 back in a year. That's minimum now. See, anything above 8% getting chopped in half, the best you can receive is $40 on your 500. $40 over a 20-year period. How much is that? That's $800. In 20 years. Just 500 to turn into 1,300 in just 20 years. And along the way, you get $40 every year. It'll get a little bigger. It'll be $41 the following year. Don't sweat it. If you need more than that, just put more in. It's that simple. Now, we heard the good side. Oh, G Conscious, he don't want to come. He don't want to come tell us how much he dropped in the Tulsa, Oklahoma fund. I understand. You waiting on a Bible show, huh? You want to come on and tell us how we waiting on Jesus. I got you, bro. I might do a Bible show for you. You ready to have another debate on the 7-headed dragon with the 10 horns? Have you got your shit together yet? You ready to come tell us what the 7-head dragon is? Have you figured that part out? Huh? Calvin, ain't no helping you, man. We ain't got time for the short bus. Don't worry about it, Calvin. Just don't invest in that shit. We'll never get you to understand it, bro. Just go work on your credit. Get that shit done. I know you got the money. All you do is work and watch YouTube. You got the money. I can't explain it to you though, bro. Maybe Darren Coffee Company can break it down. The coffee bean guy. Mr. Green Bean. All right, so now we're going to listen to the other side of the coin. Let's go find some people. Maybe my cat will, maybe he listening. He'll come on and call in and give us the other side. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know how we do it. Let's listen to the other side of the coin.
This message is for Jay Morrison. Your project, Tulsa Real Estate, it's been exposed. Anybody don't believe me, go to Tone Talk's channel. There's a few other cats that exposed it for what it really is. The SEC report exposed it for what it really is. And here is the big enchilada. Here's the big deal. Real bosses do not try to explain themselves when they're doing business. I did a video and I said, be careful if you're going to invest with Jay Morrison. A lot of people call me Coon, Sambo, call me names. And this is before I even knew that other people were out there doing their own streams and doing their videos, exposing this thing for what it really is. Because the fact of the matter is that a lot of people like the ideal of what he's trying to do, but in the end, and I said it in my video, I said he will not lose. The numbers work in their favor. People got mad at me. They got offended. And this is why a lot of folks stay rich and a lot of people stay, I don't want to say broke, but they're the elite amount of people that have information. And when they have information, they're not going to tell you how the system works. That's what I said in my video. I kept saying it, and people thought I was being a hater. They called me all types of names, cussing me out. Well, once again, I proved to be right. He said exactly what I said, just in a different way. You go watch my video. I say, be careful, investor with Jay Morrison. I said, I studied the banking system. I said, the numbers have to make sense. I use those words. And then I've done another video where I was talking about how Fidelity is actually trading with our social. I click on his channel. He done a video like he's trying to explain himself. I'm like, why are you trying to explain yourself, man, if you're a businessman? The CEOs of all these insurance companies and banks and anything that goes on in the corporate world, unless there's some type of lawsuit going on or something major, because Wells Fargo, they're like one of the biggest frauds, and Bank of America, all the banks, they're all frauds, okay? And that's why I was trying to tell the black folks that kept coming to my channel. I kept trying to tell you fools. I kept trying to say the numbers don't add up. It doesn't add up, because if you go to Jay Morrison's, one of his videos, he's talking about, people spending $500 on shoes. He's talking about people buying iPhones. He's talking about Merrill Lynch, Fidelity, the banks, how if your money's sitting up in there, you're getting a small percentage on a return. And he's right, but the problem is that he's using the same tactics as these companies use. So he's trying to play these mind games with you because it's all about numbers at the end of the day. A real boss, trust me, the CEO of Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, JP Morgan, all those cats, they don't give a damn. They're not trying to explain nothing to no customers. As a matter of fact, they don't give a damn what color you are. As long as you bank with them and they got your money, it's a good day for them.
Now, this brother got a little nigga knowledge. He got a little nigga knowledge. Let's go further. Let's go a little further. A lot of people like Tone Talk. And he's reaching out. Let's see. Hey, the science enthusiast got one. Let's listen to the science enthusiast. He joined the show.
All right, now I'm live. So, once again, it has been a while since I have even done one of these, but I'm back, and I'm talking about something very, very, very important and that all people need to know about. If you have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any type of social media, you've probably seen this scrolling down your timeline. A friend has probably told you about it. You probably have seen it looking around the internet. It's gotten a lot of buzz, gotten a lot of publicity, got a lot of people talking about
let's move on.
An IPO. He's calling it an initial public offer. So he goes and he crowdfunds the money to get his IPO together. And in about 4 days, as the story goes, he raised about $6.4 million. Very, very good. That's great. That's nice. But there are
let's go a little further.
And acquisition related costs. We intend on using the majority of the proceeds from this offering for the acquisition of properties. However, closing and other acquisition-related costs such as title insurance, professional fees, and
science enthusiasts, we got to move on. We need somebody to move quick, fast. Now, here's the hype guy, Tone Talk. He got a big deal against it.
Trajectory of black wealth, you're playing to a bunch of people who really are looking for a solution in the middle of chaos. So I look at this thing, and Jay Morrison, the individual, he's planted himself at the center of this in a weird way. He's planted himself in the center of this in a way that isn't normal at all. You know, so much of this for me is the imagery shows so many like issues.
Okay.
I feel like
Hold on.
For some years.
All right. See, this is the nigga knowledge, the emotionalism. And we understand he's playing on people's emotions, the Wakanda theme, the STEM-based Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's doing a number. Let's move a little further with the Tone Talk. Let's see.
So I come back to a guy that set up a company, put up no money. It's taking a lot of time to take pictures and all that. And in addition, is saying that he wants 50% of the profit. You're taking all the risks and then not even properly positioned in terms of the profit share. Understand that when you look at the financials of this company, there was 15,000 supposedly put in and it's set up as a liability. I just think for a lot of us, we don't understand investing. And part of the reason is that Black America traditionally haven't been investing in these type of funds, let alone stocks and bonds. Our primary investment, even for the few boomers that have wealth, has been real estate or a secondary real estate piece. I come back to it and tell you that Black America largely is built on the race of working poor people. It's just the data. Middle Black family in this country, when you take out all depreciated assets, your family car, your clothes, your TV, we're $1,500 to $1,700. I told you that in the last video. You need to understand who you are. You're not chocolate-covered white people. You're descendants of American slavery, largely positioned this way as a result of being shut out by laws that were on the books for 100 years. And for another 50 years, you've literally been given subprimes and all kind of bad access to financial products. What changes that is transformative government. So the next thing is, he says, we are...
Wait a minute. See, the Tone Talk guy is popular. But I just heard some bullshit. What changes our condition? Hold on, let me replay that.
To financial products. What changes that is transformative government.
What changes that is transformative government. Wait a minute. See, when you don't have a sound understanding on nation building, on creating a civilization, when you start babbling off this bullshit rhetoric and statistics you done found, and you don't fully understand how to resurrect a dead nation, it just goes into the pile of extra confusion, because many people are siding with his viewpoint, which it's a scam. He got that part right. He's reading off the screen and he doesn't fully goddamn stand. It's not transformative government. That ain't what the fuck made the Jew blow the fuck up in America. Transformative government ain't what's making the Asian persuasion move through the nation. They got to operate under the same goddamn laws that we got to operate under. You see? Now, I'm not going to go super viral because I'm too venomous. I go too deep to the core. Y'all don't want the solution. The solution is not transformative government. If that was the case, the Mexicans would be fucked up right now. But they're not. They're slowly taking over. How in the fuck are they doing it without transformative government? They got immigration bills on the book, but yet there's immigrants next door to you, cutting your lawn, painting your house. What the fuck kind of transformational government is making them win? This is what makes me sick about this era of niggerdom that we stuck in. If you want to change your motherfucking situation, you have to learn science, technology, engineering, and mathematics by the majority of your population, tribe, crew, clique, gang, or any other affiliates you're hanging with. Without these fundamental understandings, you will never, in any governmental circumstance, be able to compete ever. If you change the government structure to something beneficial to blacks, it will be by default beneficial to the Mexican, beneficial to the whites, beneficial to the Asians, beneficial to everybody in the nation. And they will excel at those benefits faster than the niggerdom will. Why? Because niggerdom is not skilled. If you simply had real estate skills and good credit, your ass would be as far away from goddamn Jay Morrison as you could possibly get. Why would you give a man $1 million to invest for you to get 8% preferred and then chop up the rest with him because he's doing the work because you don't know what you don't know no real estate? You wouldn't, that would sound ridiculous. You'd be like, wait a minute, you're gonna give me $80,000. Let's say you put in $1 million, he flip it 30%, blah, blah, blah. He brings back 300,000. He gives you 80%, 80,000 off the muscle. Then he takes 100,000, and then the other 100,000 he invests back into your investment. He took 100, you got 80, and the rest of the money went back into the fund. Next time profits came around, he gave you 85,000. He took 150,000 and then dropped another 150,000 back into the fund. Next time the profits came around, you got 100,000. He got 200,000, and then he put another 200,000 back into the fund. Boy, it wouldn't take long before you realize you going broke and he getting rich. And guess what? You taking all the risk. It's your $1 million. You would never pay anybody that much money to manage your funds. What? Are you fucking crazy? Are you crazy? But see, these YouTubers, they don't know. If you want to take down the giant, you got to collaborate. You all got to come together. Everybody banging on Jay Morris has to have a big ass panel and bang all at the same time. Let everybody speak, because now we can start to decipher the other side of the argument. We all against Jay Morris, but now let's start to decipher the side we on until we come to a supreme knowledge, until somebody in this goddamn circle fully understands the game so that they can teach everybody who's a disbeliever a proper understanding. When I get ready to conclude this video, when I'm done talking here, I'm going to go get my video. It's called the goddamn model minority. And I'm going to replay the audio. It's not even a long video, about 20 minutes. On some shit I recorded 2-3 years ago. It has nothing to do with no governmental structure. The Asians are operating in all the laws that exist today. They're operating on your ass. The Jew is operating with the laws on the books. And they're getting in that ass. And we ain't talking about the Zionist Jews in the banking cartels. We ain't talking about them. They don't operate by no laws. They create laws. They create lobbyists to create laws. They create lobbyists to pay senators to pass laws that their lawyers write. They ain't playing by the rules. They make the rules. There's no defeating them without war. Only way to defeat them is walk up in there with a bigger gun than they got. Only way. You don't bring them war, you will only bring them their motherfucking breakfast, slave. That's it. Bring me my breakfast and take your ass back to the cotton field. It won't go down no other way. Let's go back to Tone Talk. See why everybody want to listen. Why he getting 14 million views. It's all good though.
So the next thing is, he says, we are significantly dependent on Jay Morrison. The loss or unavailability of his services would have an adverse effect on our business operations and prospects, and that we may not be able to obtain new management under the same financial arrangements, which could result in the loss of your investment. The whole point of a corporate structure is not to have this issue. Understand that for Jay Morrison to tell you he's been convicted of crimes and then put this in a document is more than a red flag. I don't understand how those two even go together. To me, this shouldn't be in the document, but we actually should have a situation where, like, the reality is maybe as a result of your background, you should be involved with just the background, and one of the black sisters who have a degree be the front. Because it's investing. It's not about feelings. It's not about whether we want to go uphill against the system. We just want to acknowledge the reality of who might be most positioned to be the face. And I just don't understand how y'all think this is the best play. The reality is that I look at this thing, and I've been sent emails from several of my fans. I was brought into this to specifically do this because nobody else would. And the question I have is based on 2 documents that were sent to me. I just want him to explain it. I've said this in an email to his team. There's an 09 judgment for $200,000, and then there's a bankruptcy in 16 that still has the 09 judgment on it with his name on it. And I just want to know if that's you, and then also, can you just explain this for investors because they're leery? And this is where we're at, is that these things need to be explained because you entrench yourself into an investment of millions of dollars from people who don't have millions of dollars to give to you. In so many instances, what we see is that we want to believe in the hype story. We want to believe in the person that changed their life. But the reality is that that's not what this is about. What this is about is Black America coming to an awakening about a social condition so that we can move this thing forward. I'm here to help you guys do that. I'm here to create that change. When I look at the data, it tells me a daunting story. I'm telling you right now, nobody else is looking at the data the way that I'm looking at the data. I'm telling you that these people have not. I'm guaranteeing that. And when I talk about the data, I'm talking about the 2016 Federal Reserve data. That's the most recent. They drop it every 3 years. Where I was.
Hold on. Be strong. So now I'm reading in the comments, and guess what? Black Cracker done showed up. Yvette Carnell. She writes in his edit. She writes. Hold on one more memento, baby. Let's get this nigga on here. Let's put this nigga on camera. Boy, when you get this crazy nigga on your shit, it's how it worked though. A day ago, she writes, some of these comments are borderline psychotic. Antonio is not negative for asking questions that everyone should have been asking from the jump. What is he offering is a critical lens of thoughtful analysis. The question folks should really be asking is, why are we so quick to jump on board Morrison's project without first doing due diligence? It's basic. So now Morrison can address these questions and everyone gets the answer There's nothing wrong with that. She's the super instigator. Instigator. So I'm sure she's going to get ready to wash it up and get her shit cracking. Now, here's the conundrum that's going on YouTube by popular channels. Yvette Carnell, atheist. We are being fed information by a panel of YouTube atheists. And y'all don't believe in the spirituality from the Bible perspective. It would not allow for all this motherfucking confusion. It would not allow a dyke to get in the goddamn game and open your goddamn mouth. It would deal with the fact that you're a dyke and allow you to be among the people so you can observe correctness. And it'll give you time. It'll be patient with you to get that pussy off your mouth and wash that shit out and correct yourself. Over time. Patience, love, kindness, patience for those indoctrinated into satanic orders. Recently, Yvette Carnell did a hit piece on Pan-Africanism. Totally washed it with some dumb shit because she's against the very nature of the Bible, and none of them want to deal with the real shit. Love it or hate it. The greatest shit we ever had in this country by far is Booker T. Washington and Marcus Garvey in the era of freedom, so-called freedom. When it comes to a execution of an idea, this is the very reason why Jay Morrison is even calling his project Tulsa, because the very concept of Tulsa originates out of Booker T. Washington's Tuskegee model, out of a model based and centered on Bible principles, character, and morality to get the wickedness out of us. It talks about black folks without it get into superstitions that are African based, that we call Ifa, Yoruba, Kemetic science, nature. All that bullshit is superstitious knowledge. And what does it do to us? It brings the wickedness out of us. You can't go around none of these goddamn spiritual systems and get in a crowd of them and start feeling wonderful unless you're part of it. But if you're just an observer, you see somebody go into an E5 trance on your ass and hit the floor and start body shaking around this bitch. You see a nigga cut the head off of a chicken and you're going to start wondering what the fuck is going on. And then you spill that shit into this knowledge, into this goddamn atmosphere that we living in. Don't you know there is no magicians of nature and wickedness wickeder than the white man when it comes to executing the spirit of superstitions? Don't make me take this conversation way off course just to come back to this ridiculous ass bro. I so wish I could just get on her channel for 3 hours and bang her out. They're all afraid. I wouldn't give a fuck. It's only going to take pit boss to have 100,000 views on his channel every day before they cannot avoid me. As long as your channel is low, they could avoid you all day. Ain't nobody listening to you. But as soon as you got to confront it, don't matter how many people listening, you ain't going to be able to back your shit up. I'm going to back my shit up with historical facts. I just sat and read to you in detail how Tuskegee implemented their policies. What was the mission? The very mission of Tuskegee was Pan-Africanism on a small scale, on a local, national scale. You got to start local, then you got to go national, then you go global. There's a process and an order. And it's understood. I got a show coming up, and it's going to be entitled Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint Louverture outlaws voodoo in Haiti. That's going to be the title. 1830, something like that. Toussaint Louverture outlaws voodoo in Haiti. French Revolution. And y'all gonna understand, Black people love to stick to their traditions. They hate to come up off that bullshit. Take forever to get a nigga off that bullshit. This is African culture. We've been doing this forever. Bitch, you've been behind forever. Because of that shit, the white man walked in, slapped the shit out you, and took your shit. Because you was rocking with the wrong shit when he showed up. Then I'm going to swoop on over to Ethiopia. And I'm going to show you. When the white man met the Ethiopian Christian, advanced technology, advanced thought, advanced communication. Ain't going to be no running up in here. The white man ran up in Kemet, practicing Greek mythology, and slapped the shit out of the Kemetics and took it. Then the Romans came along, practicing Roman mythology, Satanism in whiteface, slapped the shit out the Greeks and the Kemetics and took it. Went down to Jerusalem, slapped the shit out of them and took that too. And then the consciousness of Christ came along. Supreme knowledge, supreme understanding and wisdom came along. And taught 12, and 12 taught the world. And they formulated the Coptic church and flipped the script. Went from this superstitious, satanic, nature-loving ass nigga into Christ consciousness. The Black Panthers of the first century went to work on the motherfucking Romans, fought their ass to the death, went to the lions' dens, died in the battlefield, fighting without a standing army. They was fighting the spiritual warfare, economical warfare, all kinds of shit, and educational warfare. They had to educate everybody and train them how to shut this shit down. Took them damn near 400 years. And with the knowledge, they shut that shit down. Rome was no more. They shut it down so much that if Rome didn't switch their spiritual understanding, they was going to be forever doomed. Constantine understood that shit and switched the game. And now they mad. See, the white man took the Bible and gave it to the niggas. And the niggas been enslaved ever since. What about the motherfucking Underground Railroad niggas? What about them niggas? They didn't have no high education on the goddamn slave farm. But the Quaker approached the niggas and said, listen, niggas, I know you like my oatmeal, But let me introduce you to God. What God? Who? This God of this Bible. This God in this book says you should die before being a man's slave. What? What you mean? Yeah. And with the Christ consciousness, the Underground Railroad was built with slaves and Quakers. It would take a decade or two of the Underground Railroad in operation before Harriet Tubman would come along. She didn't show up in the beginning when it was real tough. She came a little later, after the route was well formed. Now, Toni Morrison, he ain't really a spiritual guy, but he ain't necessarily knocking the Bible or the Quran or the Kemetic system or Ifa or anything. He just want that money. But he got that money without a spiritual foundation. Nothing to lean on, but his own understanding. The girl he got, she following the Quran. She about to put Scientology on this nigga and he gonna get richer than Richie. Soon as she get that nigga to Scientology. Boy, I'm gonna tell you, man. That's your boy. Y'all go to his channel. Listen in. The majority of people is hooked on emotional shit. What the fuck is Mercio Warrior talking about? The fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you in the chat talking about? You always come with that bullshit. You know I'll be searching the goddamn internet, watching you niggas. You start throwing my motherfucking chat off, nigga, you gonna lose that motherfucking wrench. See, I'm not interested in this shit like that. I'm not interested in a viral channel. I'm just talking to about 20 people. That's it. In reality, that's all I'm dealing with, and I'm winning like a motherfucker. I'm telling you, all these niggas is behind me. I just ain't showed it on camera yet, but I plan to. But not yet. Not yet. Darren Coffee ain't talking about shit. These niggas y'all following ain't really about to show you how to do this shit. Let me go get my fucking video so that y'all can understand. This is some shit I laid down so goddamn long ago. It just don't make no sense that y'all gonna always bite. Let's see if it's on this channel. Okay. Gotta go get it off another channel. I got so many damn channels, man, with videos all over the goddamn place. I'm sorry I blocked them, y'all, and I ain't trying to bring them back, but that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I got too much popping. I'm tired of talking to the same dummies, educating these dum-dums. It's a waste of my time. Not the people who following me are the only reason I'm even beginning to still drop a video. Okay. Let's see if we can find it this way. Oh, I don't know where I put that damn video. Hold on a minute. Give me just deuce minutes and some seconds. Okay. Let's do it this way. I got to go into my my video logs. Okay, it ain't there. And find it. There's so many of them. Sometimes. Damn. Okay. Try that. That ain't working. Okay. Maybe they blocked that video. You know, another thing I know. Oh, there it go. Oh, it wasn't called that. All right. I'm gonna let the audio play, but it's going to be like a shaky audio. I don't have a strong internet for playback. So it is but what it is. Okay, so today's topic, the model citizen. What do we know about the model citizens? Well, let's first define that. A model citizen is a group of people who exhibit a profound ability to do for self under the construction of current day law and operation. So this particular group has a high income bracket, super sufficient. They develop institutions, businesses, and organizations, and they lead in all groups. They become the model citizen. An example of the model citizens is the Asian community. Their ability to resurrect their community from the Hiroshima bomb to railroad building in America to developing Chinatowns everywhere. They have an understanding when they do business. Let's say that a group of Asians move into a community. They establish a Chinese restaurant, a laundromat, a gas station, and the hair care supply. Now, because their numbers aren't great everywhere outside their community, they have a method of operation whenever they're in a community where they are not the majority numbers. So what happens in this model citizen ideology and doing business is, let's say they add 15% profit to their total income of their business. Whatever that number would end on, all four of the companies, the gas station, the laundromat, the hair care supply, and the Chinese restaurant, they'll all come together in the back office somewhere. And at the end of the month, when they tally up the books, if any of the particular businesses did not reach their mark, the business that had a profound abundancy that month, one or two or all three of the businesses, they will add to the business that fell short, that business could stay in business. That way, over a year, let's say 20-year time, all the businesses become part of the community and are now established, and they all meet their criteria. Then they will sell the business within the infrastructure of their community following it to another model citizen. Now, for the Black people, we had this same model at one time, at a time where the policy was separate but equal. And because of this, we also were a model citizen group. We were at the time the #1 model citizen group. But due to a group of us among our communities, they chose to fight for something different. Instead of becoming a model citizen, an example for other groups to follow, they decided that the better course for us was to integrate into the whole and become part of the whole in such a way that we do not no longer control our economics. Now, without economic control, the model citizen diagram falls apart. So, in order to reinstate this ideology, a separation of economics and cultural has to exist. Some people feel that when you say nationalism or Pan-Africanism, that it is referencing some sort of separation from the global world, when indeed it is not, as all countries that are national are part of a global community. So in that same way, in the fight for liberation, the fight for liberation is actually a fight for economic control of your environment. But due to part of the group among Black people in America, they do not all wish to have economic control. It is just a phrase that one looks at in agreement, but does not choose to achieve. So when I come on the scene and I bring the STEM program, I'm giving you the basic learning system that I've been able to find in history that produces the model citizen. There's stages to becoming a nation. And you cannot lobby for a nation in the beginning. You cannot politic for a nation in the beginning. In order to be heard, you must be economically sound. And based on your economic soundness, you then can politic for rights to build a nation that can enter into a global world. And so I found no better model than the Booker T model. If there was such of another model that I could examine and show, that would be the model I would speak on. Now, there are many groups that believe that they are conscious, but do not have a policy of the model citizen. They do not understand it, they have never heard of it, and they try to compete in a level of consciousness without that understanding. Currently, these groups, they tend to exhibit a false sense of reality in believing that there is a need to exacerbate the history of African people going back 10,000 years, when in fact, all other groups rarely share their history to the degree that that is the reason why they are successful today. Understanding your current environment and mastering your current environment is of necessity. So if you want to improve your economy, your environment, you must understand the model citizen. So even though this is just a short video, just to make the introduction about the model citizen, I'm going to go in further detail the next time I go live.
Yeah, I haven't been going live on purpose.
All right, I'll stop it right there. Just so you can understand, that video, I posted that February 13th, 2017, more than a year ago. I never really went into the model citizen or the model minority in detail because too many haters on that bullshit, but yet show up in the background with a notepad, taking notes, trying to flip what I'm talking about on they shit, and don't really know how to flip it, don't know how to present it, because you're looking at this information of our history through a satanic eye that you call your third eye. You can't see through your third eye at all. It's a goddamn imaginary Wakanda vision you talking about. Constantly trying to bring the narrative away from what built shit, what made shit happen. I went through a series of Black communities never spoken about by nobody in this conscious community. I talked about Little Liberia in Baja, California. 10,000 Black people built a Black Wall Street. And you don't know about that. You never heard of that. Where can I find that? On Google, nigga, if you know where to look. But I didn't get into the details. When we were doing these things, wasn't no Asians popping. They didn't have shit popping. In their own country, they didn't have no shit like that popping. But ignorance wins on YouTube. Only on YouTube. Because in the real world, you got to get it how you live. And people like Jay Morrison is born every day. The hustle mentality is going to always abuse the body of the people. It's just like the dope dealer in the 80s. He didn't care how many people turned into crackheads. He only cared about how rich he was going to get. How many Rolex watches and Bentleys and houses and shit he got. He don't give a damn your mama a crackhead due to him selling crack in the neighborhood. He didn't give a shit. Just like in the 70s in New York when Frank White put him on heroin. He didn't give a damn. The devil thinks about self-interest at all times. I hear these niggas, I'm gonna go deal with the dumb dagger squad and the fat girl on this channel and this new nigga that I've been dealing with. And I'm gonna let y'all listen to some stupid audio of some niggas really want to pull you niggas back into Vadum. I'm gonna add that when I do my Tucson Louverture barred Vadum in Haiti show. And go on and get with the real history and not that bullshit that Tariq Nasheed put out, acting like Vadum nigga freed Haiti. If Vadum freed Haiti, how in the fuck was Vadum barred? Wouldn't you think the people who freed themselves would put their own religion as the goddamn major religion of the area? If that's the religion that freed you? But instead, the first freed niggas who didn't want to leave Vadum are the brokest niggas in the region today. And y'all think it's just because America hating on them because they fought back. Nigga, we fought back plenty of times. They abandoned them, broke them, because them niggas won't get up out that bullshit. And we can fly on over to Africa and find all the countries out there on that bullshit. Same thing. Same thing. But what happened to Jamaica when Haile Selassie showed up and brought to them the king of David, the bloodline of David? Nigga created the motherfucking Jamaican. Blood clot blue. Haile Selassie. Nigga brought that Bible to their ass. It still didn't help them out. They still, but they ain't stuck like Haiti. And they ain't on that bullshit. But that shit is so popular in the conscious community. Nigga, y'all lucky Jay Morrison ain't a motherfucking comedic, nigga. You lucky he ain't run around pushing that shit. Cause oh god damn. He wouldn't push it anyway because you niggas ain't got no money. He can't build 10 million off y'all. You see how Sarnet is struggling and Umar is struggling and Polite struggling. He looked at them niggas and said, I'm going the other way. Them niggas can't get past 1 million. I'm trying to get to 50. That nigga surpassed Umar so quick. Umar run around, I'm gonna create a black school and we gonna teach African nigga spirituality in this motherfucker. Turned around and started fucking the stripper. Toni Morrison, he turned around and get married. He'd tell you, I ain't even really deep with the Bible. That nigga went and got married. And he married a woman that got some consciousness of some kind of God. And killed the game. And he took all the money from the sheeples. The dumb niggas living in niggerdom. Can't get out of niggerdom. Don't want to get a STEM education. He's pushing STEM. Real estate is STEM, nigga. All you niggas rushing over there to nigga go to a STEM school, bitch. Fuck is you over there for? Spend $500 on a fucking real estate education, you dumb niggas. That's what you need to spend your $500 on, a fucking education. Fix your credit, get a STEM education, and go get $50 million from these goddamn sheeples. They out there all day with literary art degrees, sitting around with pockets full of money and don't know what the fuck to do with it. All you need is a little bit of STEM and you can take it all. Because these niggas can't empower themselves with this bullshit. Luckily, I can stand here and say all I talk is STEM. All pit boss talk about is the STEM. Only person in the goddamn conscious community pushing STEM. Look at the end result. Sarnet trying to get with the education and economics. Garfield turned his whole platform into economics. He stopped. Now I exposed him for spending $300 a month with Sarnet to put his bullshit credit trade line bullshit out there. He ready to move on. Oh, I got the show for your ass. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't give a fuck if nobody watch. I just laid this shit down for record. That's why I'm flipping through my shit going back years ago. All type of shit. I know all the shit I talked about. If the conversation pop up, I got a video based on that. My shit sound like I said it today. Because the shit I'm talking about is so classical that the symptoms will never change. I could play my videos in 50 years and the model citizen video will still be relevant, still be your niggas' conditions. That you niggas by population have no fucking STEM education and you can't compete. The white man, the Asian, and the Russian, and the Indian are headed to Mars. Your bitch ass is headed behind bars. Because you ain't got a fucking education that implies the STEM. Accounting, STEM. Real estate, STEM. Investment, STEM. Stock, STEM. All that shit that get to the money is STEM. And your bitch ass got an education in sociology. You got a fucking PhD. We don't know where the fuck your PhD is, but you got a PhD in sociology, the mindset of black boys. You're a specialist in the mindset of black boys. And you ran off with the money. Because your fucking gods are nature gods. You waiting on a man with a crocodile head to whisper in your ear through the ancestors. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. True light, these niggas can't fuck with me, man. I'm going soft on them on purpose. I'm done with them. I'm going to sit here and vape for a minute. At this stage of the game, nothing is about to stop Jay Morris. Nothing. He got 11 million and he headed to the bank, laughing like a motherfucker. The deal's so sweet. The deal's so sweet. It ain't gonna stop. He didn't do nothing illegal. He played by the motherfucking rules. Take advantage of the sheeps. That's the rule. If you sleeping on your money, you're gonna lose it because you sleeping on your money. Every show I come on and do, I crack y'all coconut. There is nobody's channel that can go in on Zionism, Pan-Africanism, socialism, dialectic materialism, all on one channel. It doesn't fucking exist. It doesn't fucking exist. Ain't nobody out there connecting these dots. I see all the goddamn channels. I'm on all they shit. I'm watching the same shit you watching. They don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. They still don't get it. That's why Yvette Cornell, if I go over there and start playing her show on Pan-Africanism, she gonna run to a goddamn Africa and read us some shit about African Pan-Africanism. The basis of African Pan-Africanism is socialism and Marxism, communism. The same shit Obama believes in, the same shit Hillary Clinton believes in, the same shit Zionism believes in. African Pan-Africanism is really Black Zionism. It's the same shit. But when you bring it back home to the root that bared that fruit, it don't fuck with no Zionism. Pan-Africanism was designed to destroy or compete with Zionism. But the Zionists hired W.E.B. Du Bois and sent this bitch ass to Ghana and said, go influence them niggas. And he took socialism, Marxism, dialectic materialism over to the president of Ghana. They were in agreement. They were fans of Afrocentricity. And they exploited these niggas in Africa. But when you go back to the root, when you go back to Marcus Garvey, you are in true Black nationalism. You are in true Pan-Africanism based on a Christian consciousness. And the Christian consciousness builds civilizations greater than all other ideologies. That is what history says. And if you go back before Garvey, back to Booker T at Tuskegee, the Kemet of America, the fertile lands of America, the Black land of America, you get a man named Booker T. Washington who put a church in the college and enforced morality and character building based on the Bible. You can love it or hate it, say it exists, that it don't exist. You can say what the fuck you want, but your bitch ass can't come up with the information to back your position. And from that, he created Tulsa. He created the mindset that created Tulsa. You don't want me to go back and get you the actual men and show you what they believe. Because you niggas don't want to face the truth. Y'all live the lie and hate the truth. You love the lie. That's why you dropped your money on Jay Morrison, because he brought you the lie. You go over here and you make popular all these channels that's confused like a motherfucker. That's why dumbass Darren, dickhead Darren, is in my fucking chat room confused like a motherfucker. This is what it is. Say what you want and watch how the game go. The rappers, they work for the Jews. The Jews think that nigga shit is popular among the niggas. So they give you all the shit you're entertained by because they socially engineered you to love it. Obama passed the gay law. He was being coached by Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, who was being coached by Margaret Sanger, who was being coached by Aleister Crowley. We right back down to Zionism. But y'all don't understand it. You don't think it really has a connection to your future and who controls your economy. You just don't understand it. I know you don't understand it because you come over here and you fight with me. And then I turn gangster on you niggas and then you flee. As soon as I'm ready to kill your motherfucking ass, you flee. I'll be like, look at this bitch running. Stand and fight, you faggot ass niggas. Pit boss. The game is so cold. That's why I'm quiet about what I'm really doing. I ain't gonna show it. I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm fully in the game right now. My shit is so motherfucking solid. I ain't even talking though. The calculated risk takers know what I'm talking about. The few who made it the course. And I ain't even talking. I ain't even talking. It's one listening right now that I ain't spoke to in months. All she can say, this nigga put me in the game. I'm chipped up over here. Chipped up. I ain't gonna mention no names. What I do is understood by those I deal with. The rest of you, I let you wonder. I don't ever give you hater niggas the real. Ever. I just give you something to think about. I don't never give you the real. I'm taught not to cast my motherfucking pearls before you swines. But I still gotta feed the majority. Just enough to wake them up. So I give enough that you can base this information is on real shit. You can Google my shit as I'm talking live. If I say it, it's there. But it's the way I connect the information. All of you read some shit. I played you niggas Benjamin Friedman 1961 and blew your fucking coconut off the top of your head. You ain't never heard of no shit like that. But it ain't gonna get 10,000 views. Because you niggas don't want to change. You niggas is slaves like a motherfucker. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You're still going to be enslaved because you do want to stay in your position forever. You live on a slave plantation. The only difference is you're in a fucking wonder state. You're living like it's Wakanda around this motherfucker when you get some money. That's why Jay Morrison is sitting there with a picture of the motherfucking dude from Wakanda. Do you know that the king of Wakanda was a socialist integrationist in the movie? Do you even understand the political ideologies floating around the movie? The one dude you thought was the hero that came from America and went out there to fight them, he was the goddamn 1960s Black Panther socialist Zionist. He wasn't any different than the goddamn Africans he was out there fighting. But you didn't know it because the Zionists wrote that movie for your black ass so you could feel proud. So you can feel proud. And what all them African niggas do, they bought that motherfucking movie up in Africa. You go online and see their ass at the movie theater, they X cross the chest. Nigga, that mean you X'd out. That X, yeah, that's your comedics laying in the casket. It's symbolism. They got your fucking ass because they believe in this shit. I showed you niggas the Satanic Library of Los Angeles and said, nigga, ain't no Christians built this shit. Ain't no Christians built this shit right here. You motherfuckers out your mind. Ain't no way. I don't give a fuck what kind of Christian. You can talk about a Mormon, motherfucker. Ain't no Mormon. Ain't nowhere near nobody with a Bible in their motherfucking hand create no shit like this. You niggas ain't ready for this. This is the occult symbolism of Los Angeles. This shit right here is your sun disk that you niggas love. This is it, bitch. A Luciferian library in Los Angeles, bitch. This is what you got on your shit when you got your Torah cards. That's your shit. Here go your other shit, nigga. This is you. A black goddess. That's you, nigga, the black goddess. This you, nigga, sitting in the Satanic Library, nigga. This is you. A straight comedic room up in this motherfucker. This is this. What is this? The occult symbolism of Los Angeles. Nigga, some Jews made this motherfucker. They built this shit. This the shit they believe in. Nigga, they love black people. They love to control you and own you, nigga. That's the only kind of love they like, is control the niggas. They gave us our identity. That's why they call themselves Jews, because they emulate themselves after you satanic niggas. They love you. That's why Sarnetta lives on motherfucking YouTube without distraction. That's why they let him live there, because he pushing Satanism. They love that shit. They like, we can't believe these niggas is falling in line. It's about time. These niggas is ruthless. This is some more satanic shit. You niggas love it though. This y'all shit. Look at George Washington. He got a ancient Kemetic stance going on. Look at that symbols behind him, nigga. All that shit Kemetic. This ain't no Christianity, motherfucker. Stop lying to your motherfucking self. This is a cult symbolism, bitch. I'm gonna start talking like Seti. Bitch, this is a cult symbolism, bitch. Bang on the beast, bitch. What up, Seti? Nigga, this is gods of Greek gods that came from Kemet, you son of a bitch. This is Saturn, the devil, Venus, all that shit. Satan, Saturn, bitch. Stop playing with me. Stop acting like you could Google Christianity and come up with all this. You niggas is lying to your fucking selves. And as long as you bitches is keep lying to yourselves, the white man love it. He gonna keep fucking you in the ass because you deserve it. Following this satanic shit because it's African. Of course it's African, nigga. We the first people to do everything all fucked up. And we were the first people to do everything right, motherfucker. You see this shit? This they shit. They love you niggas. Order Illuminatus. Luciferian order. Nigga, he got comedic shit in the Luciferian order, you dumbass nigga. He love it. He love it that you love it. And as long as you love it, he gonna continue to feed it to you. As long as you love it. Anything but that fucking Christianity. He don't love that shit. He like this shit. You live with that, motherfucker. Before you come over here trying to fuck with pit balls, bitch.